Howdy folks, my name's Tyson, and today I get to introduce you to the latest model from Iconic Ebikes, the Ultralight. Now I've got two of them here. This comes in a high step and a step through variant. So I'm going to be unpackaging these, getting them set up, taking them out for a little test ride. Iconic Ebikes is a newer brand in the electric bike space, but you wouldn't know it from the quality of their bikes. I reviewed their Iconic Cruiser earlier this year, and it was one of my favorite e-bikes. It was really well designed, well built. The packaging and assembly tools were all really dialed in. So I'm excited to, see if these live up to the high bar that was set by the Cruiser. Now this is just a first impressions video today. I will be doing full reviews on these bikes that will be coming out in the next week or two, so be sure to subscribe and catch that video when it comes out. All right, let's dive into the setup here. If you've never opened and unpackaged an electric bike, this is the best way to do it. You cut off kind of one side face of the box, and this is really well packed in here. It's always a good sign when I can open the box and everything just is still standing up on its own, because it's packed and secured in there perfectly. I don't see anything that looks like it could have gotten damaged or bent out of shape. So far so good. Let's see what else we got in the box here. We've got our pedals. We have got a bell and touch-up paint. Ooh, awesome. Yeah, this is great. So if you get your frame scratched up, you can touch it up with that. I love that they include those. Got some tools in here. Screwdriver, another wrench, a hex wrench. What do we have here? Ooh, yeah, that's right. This is a Rock Bros automatic tail light. So you put this onto the back of the saddle, and then it's supposed to be able to sense when you are slowing down, stopping, and flash. I've never actually tried one of these. That will be fun to set up. So far so good. Got the front wheel mounted on. This can be a little challenging to do with one person on most e-bikes, but true to name, this thing really is ultra light. I mean, it's just super easy to lift up. I think it's supposed to weigh 43 pounds fully assembled, and so far that feels spot on. This is an excellent touch right here. Tool-free adjustable stem. So you just push this up, lift the lever, and then you can adjust the handlebars. You can even raise the angle of the stem itself. A little bit difficult to do with one hand, but this is great because it lets you adjust and dial in the handlebar positioning for it's nice for fitting it for yourself, because you can dial it in just for your own comfort. But that also makes these bikes really great to share. So if you're sharing it with a partner, or maybe your kids use it sometime, they can just flip that up, adjust it, and then take off. They don't have to use tools to adjust it. So I love these things. They're great. Getting closer. Got the fender and the headlight all good to go. I'm gonna give the front wheel a spin here just to see if everything sounds like it's lined up right. And the brake is hitting, which I kind of expected. This does happen quite a bit when you even if they have it everything lined up perfectly before they pack it up and ship it out, things just get bumped and bent around in shipping. So I'll have to adjust the brake. Fortunately, that is a pretty easy thing to do. If you've never adjusted them before, you can find more detailed tutorials on YouTube, but usually all that you have to do is loosen up the two bolts right here that are holding the brake rotor in place, adjust the brake pads. You adjust the whole thing side to side until you can see just like the tiniest bit of a gap in between both sides. All right, I've got this one adjusted, so we're going to give the wheel another spin here, and there we go. Perfectly silent. A good thing we have the touch-up paint, because this was actually even under some styrofoam, but it still got scratched. This is just the kind of thing that happens sometimes, whether it's at the factory or just in shipping. Probably not in shipping since they had it packed well, but let's give this touch-up paint a try. Okay, to let that dry off so that it'll really blend in. Yeah, good as new. Now, even though this bike came with an assembly toolkit, and most electric bikes do come with assembly tools, it's a good idea to have your own. This is the wrench that came with this one. I've actually stripped the end of it here, so it is no longer work, but that's okay because I brought my own. Where are they? Here we go. Okay, well, I think we got it pretty much dialed in here. Yeah, pretty straightforward assembly process. If assembling things is not your jam, then there's a couple options. When you buy one of these, you can use something called Velo Tooler, which can do the assembly for you at your house. Or you can just find a local bike shop, and most bike shops are willing to set up a shipped bike, and this is pretty straightforward. Even for a shop that is not electric bike specific, they'd probably be willing to do that for a pretty cheap fee. So maybe look into that. Let's see. I suppose we should make sure it powers on. So let's see. If I remember right, we got to push this here. There we go. It lights up blue. Lets us know the battery's on, and then we can hit the power button on the display. Oh, I think we have to hold it down. There we go. Boom. Let's take that off. The display works. Can we get lights? Hold down the up arrow. Nope, that's walk mode. Let's try holding down the down arrow. I haven't actually looked at the manual. There we go. All right, so we got the lights on. It's backlit. This is going to be super easy to see. The headlight kicked in. Awesome. Oh yeah, I forgot to install the tail light, which is going to go right under there. Where did I put that? And look at that, it works. I think these have, yeah, different modes. I know it's an auto sensing light as well, so it can do automatic brake activation. I'll have to try that out on the ride test. But what's pretty cool with these lights, you turn it just like a half turn and then it pops right out. And then there's a little USB port on there, so you can plug it in and charge it up. So it is, this is called like an independent light. So it's not powered by the lights that are, or by the battery in the bike. You gotta turn it on and off manually, which can be a little bit frustrating, especially if you forget and leave it on and then it runs out. But rechargeable, this is awesome. Most of the independent lights have, AA or AAA batteries that you have to swap out. It's kind of wasteful, so this is a nice touch, and hopefully the brake sensing works well too. Okay, now even though the battery says that it's full, it's a good idea to plug these in and charge them before taking them out for the first test ride. And anyways, I've got a whole nother bike to assemble in the box back there. So I'm going to plug this bad boy in. I'll catch you guys in just a bit for the test ride. Alrighty, it is a beautiful day out for a little test ride. I've got the bike all set up and ready to rock and roll. I do want to just let you look it over here. This is just such a sleek looking bike. It is so, just the color matching, I love the design on it. All the black and silver, and then the brown accents from the saddle and the grips. Just looks beautiful, and really sleek electronics integration too. Now you wouldn't guess that this is an e-bike without close inspection. Just walking by, driving by it on the street, it would just look like a kind of a regular vintage cruiser, which is really what they're going for here, is like the classic vintage cruiser look and feel. This is a bike that's supposed to, ride and feel like a bike, meaning it should do well even if you don't have the electronic assist on. Now, it's not a very powerful electrical system, and some people might be a little bit put off by that because it's a 350 watt motor, only about around like a 250 watt hour battery. I forget, 36 volt, 7 amp hour. So that's not very powerful compared to a lot of the really big, powerful, class 3 crazy fast stuff that's out there. This is not a bike that's designed for that market. This is a bike that is designed to ride like a bike. It's designed for people that already like to bike a lot and want something that can just get them a little bit farther, a little bit faster. It's stealthy, which means it doesn't look like an e-bike, which means it's not as high of a theft target, so you can lock it up when you're out around town and not have to stress out about it. So anyways, we're gonna jump on here, fire it up, take it for a spin. Let's see, so we've got to push this button here to power on the battery, and then press the power button up here, fire up the display, Great display choice. These grayscale ones are super easy to see in any lighting condition. Now you can turn on the lights for a backlight if you want to, but you know, it's bright daylight out. We don't need to do that. I'm actually gonna bump that down to 0. So starting out, we're just gonna ride with no electric assist, ride it like a bike. You know, this is what it'd be like if your battery was dead, or just if you don't need the help and want to get some exercise. Let's see, we're in 3rd gear here. Should be pretty good. We'll wait till we get a clear spot. It's very easy to get going. This is such a comfortable bike. I'm just like sitting straight up, nice and relaxed. I mentioned this before, but the stem is very adjustable, so you could get a more forward stance if you want to, but this is really, kind of how this bike's designed to be ridden. It's a cruiser. It's upright, it's relaxed, it's super comfortable, its grips feel great. We're cruising along pretty good here. Oh, I still got the display in kilometers per hour, it looks like. I think I can change that real quick. All right, got it switched over, and away we go. Turn that pedal assist off again. So this is a pretty comfortable experience, riding it with no electric assistance. You know, we're already up to 10 miles per hour, pedaling very easily. Let's try out the shifter here. I actually haven't tuned this thing up yet, so but it seems like it's working though. Let's try going all the way up to 7. All right, yeah, you can barely even hear it back there. It's really quiet. Go back down here to, I don't know, 2, 3 or so. Wow, yeah, so that's it. That's always nice to have the shifter tuned up. They can actually be a little bit finicky to tune. It's not super difficult, but just, I always have to look it up on YouTube every time because I forget. So I like that. Pretty stable platform too. Riding no-handed feels pretty good. Even though it's a step through, this can sometimes be difficult to do on a step through frame because you get what's called frame flex. They're not as rigid as the high step models, but it seems like they did a pretty good job here with the frame. All right, well, we're going to try it in fun mode here. Kick on the electric assist. I'm just gonna kick it all the way up to level 5 just because I'm curious. This is only a 350 watt motor only, so compared to some of the more powerful stuff out there, it's not, this is not a speed demon, but it's still, you'd probably be surprised at how much these things can help out. So we'll put it in 5 and we'll just start pedaling. Oh wow, that's amazingly responsive. It's not, it feels like it's actually a torque sensor on here, which I was thinking it was a cadence one. So that is a really nice treat. Let me see if I can kind of get a video here to show you what I mean. So it feels like a torque sensor because it kicks in instantly as soon as I start pedaling, and then it's changing the amount of assist based on how hard I pedal. So check this out. Give it just a little bit. Motor's kicking in just a little bit, and if I push more, I get a lot of push instantly, which feels amazing. Like torque sensors are they're very responsive. They're great for people who are active cyclists because the motor will match how much power you're putting into it. So you pedal harder, motor works harder, you go much faster, much farther. That's awesome. And in level 5, let's see, we'll bump this up here to 7. And we're already up to 19, 20 miles per hour, which is the top speed here, as this is a class 1 electric bike. So 20 miles per hour is about all you can get up to, which for most people is plenty, and especially for just, cruising around town, commuting, fun rides, that kind of a thing, that's plenty of speed. One thing I noticed on the brakes, and I was gonna point this out as a downside before, is that they don't have motor inhibitors. There's just the brake cable here. And so what that means is that when you squeeze them, they don't cut power to the motor. I was going to call that out as a kind of a downside here, but it doesn't really matter on this bike because of that responsive pedal assist sensor. Since it is able to cut off immediately when you stop pedaling, you don't really have to worry about being in that situation where you're fighting against the motor, unless you're still pedaling, which you shouldn't be, because then you'd be fighting yourself. So don't do that. Okay, my friends, that's it for today. I'm trying to keep it short and sweet since this is just a first impressions video, but already I have so many other things that I'm excited to say about this bike, and things that I'm also just excited to test out and discover about it. So I'll be doing a full in-depth review on this bike in the next week or two here. If you've got questions about the bike that I can answer for you in that in-depth review, please chime in down in the comments section here and let me know, and then I'll see what I can do in the next video. All right, thanks guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.